With 25 plus years as a watch enthusiast, there is one thing that has always driven me nuts. One question that until now, I really have not taken the time to fully understand. Dive watch, sports watch, tool watch, dress watch. Can a dress watch be a tool watch? Can a sports watch be a pilot watch? Why are pilot watches and field watches next to identical? Today, I am going to try my best to answer some of these questions, but I'm just going to be upfront with you ahead of time. When it comes to categories, your guess is as good as mine. So to figure it out, I have enlisted the help from AI. It seems there is about 50 different ways that you can label a watch in this hobby. Gotta, diver, racing, dress. The list goes on, but today we are only breaking down 4. And while we are at it, we are going to take a look at how they cross over with each other. Sports, tool, pilot, and field. I am going to skip dress watch for the most part. We all know what a dress watch is, and actually I don't even own one. The closest that I have that comes to a dress watch would be these 2 watches right here. Technically, I think that they fall into the more dressed casual category. Spec-wise, under 40 millimeter, thin enough to slip under a cuff. 3-hand, maybe a date, polished case, leather strap. Think Patek Calatrava, Cartier tank, Rolex 1908. The whole assignment, disappear under a sleeve and look like money doing it. Now, before we get too deep down this rabbit hole, I do want to tell you about how this video came to be. Recently, I was watching a video of Nico, and he was tearing into a guy about whether or not his watch was a tool watch. Nico made the statement that any watch that has a function outside of just telling time is by very definition a tool watch. With this said, as stated before, when it comes to categories, there is enough bleed over to make your head spin. So I enlisted the help of Jameis. And yes, you did hear that correctly. I did name my AI Jameis. And yes, I did copy that from Iron Man's Jarvis. Get it, Jameis.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
I don't know. I thought it was clever, but anyway. To start, I asked Jameis to give me a clear definition of what a tool watch was. And it turns out that Nico was 100% correct.
Great question, James. A tool watch is defined as a watch with a function beyond telling time. Example, a rotating dive bezel, a chronograph, a GMT hand, a tachymeter, and a slide rule.
A tool watch is defined as a watch with a function beyond telling time. Here is what I would ask Nico if I had the opportunity. What exactly counts as a function beyond telling time? Is a day or date complication a function beyond telling time? What about tracking the phase of the moon? You tell me, when is the last time you looked at a perpetual calendar and in your mind saw a tool watch? A Rolex GMT? A tool watch. A Speedmaster? Yup. Navitimer? No doubt. But are you telling me that this is a tool watch? And here is something else that is interesting. According to Jameis, the term tool watch didn't really gain traction until the 90s or the early 2000s. Considering tool watches have been around since the early 1900s, and I'm talking like 1910, 1912, taking that into consideration, this means that tool watches existed roughly 80 years before they even had language to describe what they were. Yet at the same time, the term sport watch, while already mainstream by the 1930s, would take close to 40 years before it would have a face. Say the word sport watch today, and anyone who is a serious watch enthusiast will immediately think Gerald Genta. And yes, I know that he's technically responsible for the luxury sport watch, but let's be honest, even the sport watches in the more affordable range today, they were born off the back of his designs. With this in mind, once again, I asked Jameis to define what a sport watch is, and this is the reply I received. A sports watch is a wristwatch built to be worn during active or rugged daily use rather than formal occasions. The defining traits are robustness, legibility, water resistance, usually 100 meters or better, and a secure bracelet or strap. It's the category that lives between the dress watch on one end and the purpose-built tool watches like divers, pilots, and racing chronographs on the other. A few examples: AP Royal Oak, Patek Nautilus, IWC Ingenieur, the Tissot PRX, Christopher Ward's 12, the Maurice Lacroix Acon, all Genta designs or Genta inspired. The list goes on, but basically if it is a three-hander and it is tough, it is 100% a sports watch. But here's where the term starts to get a little bit slippery. A Royal Oak in yellow gold. Technically, it's a sports watch, but would you place it in this category? Better yet, would you dare to wear one, quote, during active or rugged daily use? Yeah, that's going to be a no. Now, let's even take it one step further. The Royal Oak chronograph. Same case, same bracelet, same dial. Add a chronograph complication, and is it still a sports watch or has it just become a tool watch? Can a tool watch be a sports watch? Can a sports watch be a dress watch? Can a dress watch be a tool watch? I asked Jameis, and the answer, yes. In the example given, one of my all-time favorites, the Submariner. By design, the Submariner is a tool watch built specifically for divers. That is the definition of a tool watch. Purpose-built for specific activity other than telling time. But by modern use, it is a sport watch. And then Jameis went ahead and doubled down. Nobody is actually diving in a $10,000 Submariner. It gets worn with suits, sets in safes, and trades on the gray market like currency. Same watch, completely different role. That may just push it closer to a dress sport territory. Holy shit, did we just add another category? Okay, I just want to say congratulations to my 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Griffin14, congratulations, man. We have a couple backups down here in case we don't hear back from you. Here's your Venezianico. I'll be reaching out to you soon. Congratulations, I'm super happy to be able to give this to you and expect to hear from me. The next two categories are ones that have tripped me up 1,000 times. Pilot versus field. This one I am not joking about. If I break down what Jameis says differentiates the two, a pilot watch was built for the cockpit and a field watch is the soldier's wristwatch. Yep, there you have it, and you're welcome. In reality, there are a few key features that if you know what to look for, you will instantly be able to tell the two apart. The pilot watch, big dial, big crown, matte black face with white luminous markers. Think IWC, Laco, Stoa, or in this case, my beautiful Muhle Glashütte. The key feature, the triangle at the 12 o'clock, that is storied to have been designed to help pilots instantly know which way is up during banking maneuvers. The truth, the triangle was originally designed for use by navigators in the back of the bombers, not the pilots. The triangle worked as an orientation marker so that the navigator could read time quickly without having to first find the 12. The original pilot watches were massive by today's standard, and I'm talking like 50 plus millimeter. Today, pilot watches can be found in all sizes, but one thing is for sure, they will all share the same triangle DNA. Well, that is except for the 10,000 other pilot models that don't. Say, for example, my Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot or my Breitling Navitimer, which in my opinion is one of the most iconic pilot watches of all time. Another example, my Hanhart flyback chronograph. And then there is the Cartier Santos. Yup, the Santos is actually a pilot watch. A field watch, think pilot, only smaller. And where the pilot watch has the triangle at the 12, at least some of the time, a field watch can be identified by the inner 24-hour marker. Take a look here at my brother's Hamilton khaki field. You will see standard and military time. By the way, that is only if the watch carries a military heritage. If not, you just have to take a guess. The Explorer 1, field watch. Tudor Ranger, field watch. The Sinn 556, well, I see a pilot watch, others call it a field. Okay, at this point, you are either just as confused as I am, or you are pissed off because you thought you were coming here for answers. And I am 100% open to having that conversation. For example, let's take a look at my Big Crown Pro Pilot. What exactly makes it a pilot watch, other than the big crown that was designed for use with gloves on? It is not the complication, just 3 hands and a dial. Doesn't even have the triangle at the 12. By definition, this thing is not even a tool watch, and the same goes for most of the field watches. The inner 24-hour ring, that is not a function. It is just an extra scale printed on the dial. I think the bottom line is these categories are not laws, and they seem to be all over the map. I think the easiest way to look at it is that a sports watch describes a watch that is time only, rugged, water resistant, shock resistant, a watch that can take a beating. A tool watch is a watch that was built with a purpose in mind other than just telling time. I think for the most part, anytime you see one of these, that is going to be obvious. Take, for example, my Ball Roadmaster Rescue. I don't think that anyone is going to confuse this one with being a dress watch. A pilot watch is a watch designed to be legible at a glance while multitasking in the cockpit. And a field watch shares pretty much the same features with the design geared more towards ground combat. And here's one for you. Not a dress watch. I don't think it is a sports watch. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. Either way, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button and please consider subscribing. I'm James, this is Blue Collar Luxe, and I will see you in the next one.